Today's video, what we're going to do is we are going to be doing an unboxing of the OnePlus 7 Pro, a first time setup and a quick review and overview of this smartphone. So let's dive in and get started right away. So here I have the box right over here. Let's lift up to see what's inside. So we're going to lift it up and then we get the little package here with some of the OnePlus stuff inside it. So that's that. It's going to have the user guide, the SIM ejection tool. So we're going to put that aside over there. And over here we have the phone, of course. It says never settle on the top over here. At the bottom it says to maximize the performance of our in-display fingerprint sensor, we recommend using screen protectors from OnePlus and our official partners. Let's put this aside for a second. So over here what we have is we have the cable. Then we have the Warp charger. So this is a 30-watt charger that is going to charge your OnePlus 7 Pro very fast, okay? So this is just something standard that comes with the OnePlus smartphones. You do get fast wired charging, but remember you do not get wireless charging with the OnePlus 7 Pro. Over here what we have, let's lift this up and see what's inside as well. So over here we have the cable. I do like the fact that the cable is this nice reddish color, okay? So that's all you get in the box. No headphones, no earphones, that's all you get. So let's actually turn our attention to the actual smartphone right over here. So what we have here is an all-screen design with no notches, no holes. Let's turn this on real quickly by pressing the power button on the side. Okay, so it has been turned on and you can see the all-screen design right off the bat. So I'm going to turn this on the back. Let's take a look at around the device. So we do have 3 cameras. As you know, we have a regular 48 megapixel camera, then we have a telephoto camera, and of course we have a super wide angle camera, and those are 3 camera setup. And I like the fact that it's the vertical design. And then at the bottom we've got the OnePlus logo, and it says OnePlus at the bottom. Now if you look around the device, you've got that power button right here, and you've got that notification rocker. That's not the volume rocker, that is for the notifications to go from silent to vibrate to volume on. And then if you look over here, what we have is we do have the volume rocker, which is great. Now if you look at the bottom, you've got a USB Type-C port. You do not have a headphone jack. You do have the SIM tray right over here. We have a speaker at the bottom, and of course we do have a speaker on the top. So we do have stereo speakers on this OnePlus 7 Pro. Not something that we've seen before. We always had mono speakers. The voice quality basically sucked on the previous OnePluses, but this one here is going to give us stereo sound, and we'll see how that is. All right, and again, let's take a look at this full screen design over here. So we have a little bezel on the side, tiny bezel on the sides, tiny bezel on the top, a little bit chin at the bottom, but that does not matter. Look at that gorgeous all-screen display with absolutely no notches or punch hole cutouts, okay? So I do want you guys to be aware that this is in fact a Quad HD Plus resolution. The resolution is 1440 by 3120, and of course it's got a 90 Hertz screen refresh rate. Obviously that is one of the highlights of this smartphone. It does tout an amazing screen. So that's one of the highlights of this smartphone. It's not the first to do it, but it's one of the first popular smartphones that are out there with this feature. So let's dive in and set this phone up and see what else we're gonna find out. All right, so here we have the phone, and the very first thing you can do is you can tap on start, or you can also tap on the vision settings and just make some modifications to the actual display, such as being able to change the font size and the display size. We're gonna skip that. We're gonna go back and we're gonna tap on start. And of course, you do have to agree to the terms. Click agree, and we're good to go. We're just gonna say no thanks to this one for now. And then system stability, we're gonna say no thanks for now as well. And we're gonna say no thanks to this one as well, okay? So now it wants you to connect to a mobile network. We're gonna skip that as well. I'm gonna tap on skip, and we are gonna connect to my Wi-Fi over here. So let's pick that one right over here. Tap it, let me dump in my password. That is connecting right now. So it is installing the updates, and it should take a couple of seconds here, and then we'll move on. All right, so it is asking me, do you wanna copy apps and data? I'm gonna say don't copy. We're gonna do a brand new setup, so don't copy. Just a second, that's great. And of course, it wants us to add our Gmail account, Google account, so we're gonna do that right away. All right, so it wants to activate a bunch of Google services, so we're gonna just go over to the bottom and just click accept, that's fine. And then it wants us to set up the fingerprint sensor, so let's do that right now. So let's click on next, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a simple PIN number here. Okay, so click next, put the pin number one more time, and now we're going to use that optical fingerprint sensor that is actually one of the fastest in-display fingerprint sensors on the market. But just remember, it is an optical two-dimensional sensor, not an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor such as you find on the latest Samsung smartphones. However, it is going to be faster than those because it has been tweaked properly. All right, with this one, we're just going to say show all notifications on the screen. Click done. And then let's set the fingerprint up. So let's put it right here. Okay. That's great. Okay, so now it wants to do edge input. So we're going to scan the edges of the finger. Just like that. That's great. All right, and we are good to go. Fingerprint has been added. Most of these phones are going to come with a pre-installed screen protector. If you want to remove that, make sure that you re-register your fingerprints so it works properly, and it says it right over here. So we're not going to do another add addition. We're going to click next, and we're going to continue with our setup. How to talk to your assistant. You can press and hold that button. We all know that. We're going to say no thanks for now, and then no thanks, and I want to go straight into the home screen as soon as it is possible. Now, it is talking about some of these screen off gestures. So for example, you can actually turn on the flashlight by drawing a V on the screen, and these are features that are part of the Oxygen OS. We are going to take a look at that in a second, so I'm going to click next for now. And then it wants me to pick one of these screens here, natural, advanced. You can make modifications. We're just going to stick to Vivid. Click on next. Which font do you want? I'm going to take the OnePlus Slate, which is something that's pretty cool. And there we are in the actual main screen. So let me quickly tweak the brightness. We do have some updates happening right now. So let me just go to the settings real quickly. I'm going to tweak the brightness of the smartphone so you guys can see it a little bit better. So that's really nice bright screen. All right, so I did readjust that so you can see it much better. So let's go back over here. Let me just pick a wallpaper that looks a little bit better than this one. So press and hold on the screen, go into wallpapers, and then what we have here, let's pick all these options over here. Let's pick this one right over here, okay? So I have this one for this and the lock screen. When you go home, it applies the wallpaper, and then we're good to go. Now real quick, what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you the pop-up camera. So when I tap on the camera, it's going to launch the actual application, and of course when you switch the camera over, it is going to bring up this camera over here, which is looking at my hand over here. So as you can see, it's a nice little pop-up device. When you tap this again, it goes right inside. When you tap it again for a selfie mode, it goes right up. All right, so that's great. Now another function where this camera gets activated is when you go into the settings, and when you go into the lock screen and security over here, and when you go to face unlock. So when you go to face unlock, let's just put our little pin number here. Now what's going to happen is when you tap on add face data, it is going to also pull that front facing camera back. Okay, as you can see, they want you to position your face in the circle, but the camera pops right up. So that's great. We're not gonna do that right now, but that's another time when the camera actually pops up. So that's a great little feature that makes it possible for us to have this all screen display. Now one thing I'll let you know about the screen is with the all screen display, it looks absolutely gorgeous when you actually zoom to fill the device. So look at this beautiful nature video playing on the OnePlus 7 in total full screen, no notches, no holes anywhere. It does look really, really nice and immersive. So not having a hole or not having a notch is definitely worth something in this day and age. All right, so we're back in business, up close and personal. So let's go into the settings real quick. I'm going to show you a couple things over here. So when you go to the settings, now first and foremost, I want to show you guys that if you go to the display, you can actually change the screen refresh rate from here, from 60 Hertz or to 90 Hertz as you please. Of course, when you're at 90 Hertz, the transitions and overall operation of the phone is going to feel smoother. The difference is not larger than life as it is made out to be, but it's still there and you are going to actually enjoy it. Now let's go back over here. Let's keep at 90 Hertz. Let's go back over here and I'm going to show you a couple things around the device. So this is the OnePlus's Oxygen OS. So one thing I was talking about was the buttons and gestures. So if you go to the buttons and gestures over here, and if you go into quick gestures, I was talking about these things over here. You can enable some gestures such as double tap to wake and all that stuff. And then when the screen is off, you can draw certain things on the screen like O, V, S, M, and W to launch applications or activate settings. So just one example, let's go to V. Let's say I want to use the front camera every time I draw a V on the screen when the screen is actually turned off. So let's turn off the screen real quick, turn it off. Now if I draw a V here, it is going to launch the front facing camera, and of course the little camera popped up. You may not see that because it's been cut off a little bit, but that's one way to do it, okay? And of course we can go right back inside, okay? So the fingerprint sensor is pretty fast over there, but those are the screen gestures that you can customize from here in regards to the OnePlus 7. This is a feature that I've had for a while, so that's the quick gestures right over here. Now one more thing I want to show you guys is if you go to the settings, again this has to do with your navigation. So if you go into the buttons and gestures and you tap on navigation bar and gestures, from here you can modify your navigation bar. If you want the 3 buttons here, that's great, but you can also choose it to look like the Android Q interface with the home button and the back button here, and of course swipe up to change apps. And then of course you can hide all the navigation buttons if you don't want to use it, and then it's going to be completely gesture based navigation all over the place, okay? I prefer to have the buttons, so we're going to keep them right there. Okay, so we are going to take a look into these things in detail in a later video, but I just want to give you a quick overview of the OnePlus 7, the camera, the 90 Hz refresh rate, and of course that all screen display. So it is a great phone to have. It does start at a really good price, but once you get to the $750 price range, it is now in the flagship category. However, remember, it does miss